Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. Your decisions, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, good people. We are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur, where we provide a platform where we share the real journey for those who have the courage to come on and talk about their process as an entrepreneur. The journey of the entrepreneur, as I say all the time, you cannot be a punk and an entrepreneur. It's just not a thing. But within the journey of this entrepreneurship, we are, for those who have the courage to come and talk, we exchange ideas, elevate each other, because the process along the way, we definitely need support. The benefit of being an entrepreneur has so many benefits, but there are also a lot of challenges that exist within this space. And I have what I say the best seat in the entire world, where I get to see entrepreneurs at all phases of their journey, and also to be able to bring information, relevant information, that one can share their process in this space. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am the host and producer of this show. I am a business owner, I'm a mother. Somebody claims me as their wife, and it is a journey in itself. 11375 is a business consultancy that provides and really focuses on helping other small businesses deal with their fundamentals, deals with their foundations, helping with registration. My business is also certified at the City of New York and State of New York as a minority women business enterprise. I had the benefit of, facilitating courses that focus in on that process, and also, just sharing my journey as a business counselor, with two wonderful organizations that, you know, they hired me to do this work. So I am really, really excited and really, now passionate about this work, because I think that, when we share information, it closes the learning gap of others. And the truth is, I got to tell you a little secret. We all can win this thing of competing with one another. Yes, you're supposed to know who your competitors are, so you know how to improve on the process. But in general, the truth is we can all win at the level of success that we desire within our space. So to learn more about what I do, you can check me out. I am on Instagram. Um, I have a website, www.11375.com, and I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn, and also now on TikTok, due to the wonderful folks that are now supporting this goal. So, enough about me. Enough about me. I get the distinct pleasure to interview someone who is in a very, very awesome space, specifically with women's health. And you're gonna explain. Yeah, I'm even more excited because, well, let's back up. Wish she was around when I gave birth to my kid because the experience would have been whole different. But that's another. Hey, Juanita.
Hi. Hi,
Oh,
friends.
hi.
Hi.
So we are live, but
hmm
just I will not do your description justice. Please tell us who you are, what you do, and more.
Okay, so my name is Juanita Abdul-Ali. I am the owner of Be Your Birth Doula Services. I provide all around birth worker services in pertaining to pregnancy and birth. So I do doula services where I help you prenatally, your birth, prepare for birth, prepare for labor. I'm there for that. And I do postpartum care as well. I also do lactation consulting. Um, I do meal prep. We do um, herbal supplements to help with postpartum recovery. Um, I also educate your family on how to support you. I prepare your entire family, your life, basically organizer for postpartum. How's that going to look? Where are we recovering at? What are we eating? All of that. Um, yeah, I'm a mom. I homeschool two small children as well. And yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and then I do all that, and then I'm the mom of two beautiful, amazing, growing ladies.
High
So
spirit young ladies, yes.
so I want to start with um before I ask the other questions, why did you start this business?
So I started this business because I felt how I got into doing birth work was an ancestral call. I never particularly was like, since a little girl, always wanted to do work. Like, no, didn't even think about it, never even crossed my mind until I really sat with myself and was able to quiet, have quiet and silence and really have conversations, I feel, with the universe about what am I supposed to be doing, and it immediately came to be doing birth work. I slightly knew about it. I wanted a doula for my birth, but then it got to a thing where I couldn't afford it, and there's a stigma in our community around birth work and having a doula, so I didn't really push it. But then it came that the idea that this is what you should be doing, and literally like manna from the sky, everything pertaining to doing doula work, doing birth work and providing those services literally just fell immediately into place. And it became a thing of, well, this is really what I'm going to do. Then it definitely needs to be a business. It definitely needs to be um, handled professionally and able to get past just word of mouth or whoever you see.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned being a doula.
Yes.
What is that?
So a doula is a birth support person. Um, Ideally what we do is we mentally and physically make sure that the birthing person is prepared for birth, um, thinking about their postpartum recovery, thinking about labor, thinking about delivery, um, and being there physically and emotionally. um, it's a little bit more past, someone rubbing your back and going to get you some extra ice, because it is the giving of yourself, giving of your emotions and your feelings in a constantly supportive way through this time in which it's not an exchange. So many other emotional times, a lot of times it's an exchange. It's not an exchange. You're constantly giving, giving, giving to make sure that your client's pot or cup is full, making sure that they're in the best of state the entire process, because any little down or fear or uncomfortableness can set labor back and cause your client more problems. So you need to constantly be in a state of giving, loving, giving of yourself to provide a safe environment for people to birth in. Um, Ideally, what having a doula will do or should do is allow for you to not have to be in a hospital setting for majority of your labor and birthing experience. Now, there's a difference between labor and birth. Labor is all of that time before, that could be days before you actually birth, and then birth is literally like maybe an hour or two. um, that entire time of labor, you don't need to be in a hospital setting. If everything is perfectly fine, you don't need any interventions, any type of, medication or anything, then you're totally okay to labor at home or in whatever setting feels safest and most comfortable for you. Having a doula will allow you to be able to physically and emotionally get through. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. That's a very key part of birth, as we can look through nature. If you ever had a cat or something like that, they find this the closed off place where they feel the most safe, unbothered, they know everything's okay, and then they get in a place of which they're able to birth. um, Birds make nests because they need a safe and secure place in order to birth. um, Same thing with birthing persons in labor. The idea of you're in your home, you're somewhere that feels safe and comfortable. This is a good place in which you can labor. Just I We don't do home births in the manner and state and numbers in which we should. So a majority of births are happening in hospital settings, but that doesn't mean your labor has to be in a hospital setting. But you're going to need a support person. You're going to need a strong person that can help you and kind of be, I guess, the sensible, logical person in the situation. Because as a birthing person, you don't care about nothing else other than this being over. Um, but somebody got to know, the last four of your social and where your shoes are. So it's just being the logical, sensible person in that setting is ideally what your doula does during a birth.
So I have two follow-up questions.
Yeah.
The first is, um, so you really support, what I heard was that you really support the clients through the entire birthing process, which means that you can do home births, correct?
Yes. Yes. We can do home births in a birthing center and in a hospital setting. Majority of the work is done outside of those settings. So if we're doing a hospital birth, you can get as close to a home birth experience by having all of your labor, all of that time, all of your prenatal prep, all of that at home, and we can get to the hospital, have the baby, and be back home. I've had clients make it in 15, 20 minutes before they actually had to push the baby out, within an hour or two, but had labored at home for almost a day and a half. So, whereas we have culturally have some foolishness that when your water breaks, you need to jet set it to the hospital. Um, Ideally, you don't want to do that. That's just your body preparing, and we just think of that as a step towards labor. So you're able to be in your home, hang about your house, cook, eat, which is something you cannot do in a hospital setting. Um, but your birth worker, your doula, is able to support you through all of that. You can doulas are usually on call the last 2 weeks of your pregnancy, excuse me. So if from 38 weeks on, your doula is on 24-hour standby on call. That means that clients are texting and calling all hours of the night, middle of the night, and they're expecting a phone call, they're expecting you to answer, they're expecting a text back. And a lot of what they're texting could just be normal things that are in the progression of labor. But this is many people's their first experience. They've never done this before. So they're really coming as, hey, you're a trained professional. Is this okay? Is this right? Is this what's supposed to be happening? And ideally your doula is supposed to be reassuring. to let you know what you should do next, what to try, what can work, what cannot work. Because people are moving in a place of fear. Pain is not cool. Like pain is not something anybody's like, yay, let me just stay in this. We immediately want to get out. So ideally, what your doula allows you to do is to walk through the laboring process, not just as this is a pain or something bad that needs to stop, but more as this is a symptom of me getting to birthing this baby and I have to walk through this.
If I would have known that I could have had snacks, right?
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they tell you all type of things, but my follow-up question is about it seems like you serve as an advocate, right, alongside your clients.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned things like knowing their information, especially if they're alone, right?
Hmm.
Meaning like without spouse or
Hmm.
supporting family, you'll be that particular bridge in between that time. What does that or how much weight is that for you? Meaning, is it like, you know, do you have to make like life or death situations? Do they have to sign over, what is it like a healthcare form, or have you listed as like an advocate there? Like, what does that look like in terms of like real detail?
Um, so there's nothing as far as forms go that would need
Okay.
to be signed, nothing as far as like HIPAA or anything like that. Maybe
Right.
contractually there is some wordage as far as what will be shared and not shared and what will be offered and not offered. Um, but for the most part, what it is literally stepping in, but allowing your client to make all of their decisions. So I am not a medical professional. I am not telling you what to do as far as anything related to your health, or what procedures or things you should agree with or not agree with. Or I'm not the second opinion from your doctor. Like I'm not the other person to tell you what it is and what it isn't. What I can tell you is the truth based on my own experience and my knowledge, and allow you to make an informed decision. The reason why my business is called Be Your Birth is ideally you need to make whatever decision you want to do to have the birth of your birth, to have the birth that you would like to have. I don't care. I say to people all the time. I don't care if you want to give birth in the woods under the blue corn moon. I don't whatever. I just need you to be well informed about what it is. Make that decision, and then boom, I'm gonna support you in whatever we need to do. Then I'm gonna think about okay. So listen, we're gonna need a tent. We're gonna need some water bottles. Like we gonna have to figure out like how we gonna get out there. Like that's it. Like that's my job. Once you've made a decision about how you want your birth to look, it's my job as your doula to put things in place and to give you the resources to be able to have that type of birth. Um, but it's your decision. And my biggest thing is I need my clients to be able to make informed decisions. I don't care if you walk into a hospital after we've been laboring together for 2 days and been like, nope, I want an epidural, I want a cesarean right now, as soon as you walk in the door. Okay. But I want you to be informed about what that means and what that looks like and what that postpartum recovery is going to look like and what are the side effects and what are the long-term effects of this decision. And if you decide on that after that, cool, like let's do it, let's go. But that's my biggest thing as far as advocacy is informed consent. While a lot of people like to use it in the idea of interactions where it may be unwarranted in um sexual situations or things like that, and having conformed consent about touching people's bodies and things like that, it is at almost a null and void when it comes to maternal health.
Mm,
um Providers walk in a room putting gloves on, saying they're going to do an exam. They don't ask, they're not telling you, they're not giving you the
mm,
option to decide. The same thing comes with procedures. They're not telling you anything about it. They're saying, hey, can we do a X, Y, and Z? And that's it. It'll be in a situation of, hey, I'm going to do a cervical exam. Is that okay? And you say, okay, that's their consent. But that's not informing you on why they're doing an exam or what is it necessary, what effects it could have on your labor, what effects it can have on you, what is baby's
mm,
reaction going to be. None of that is being told to you just with the simple okay. As your doula, I'm going to say, hey, can you tell her more? Can you explain why you're doing this, or what does that mean? And that's it. Like, it's up to the client to decide if they're going to take that information and decide they're going to, yeah, I want to have it, or no, you know what, based on you telling me further information, I don't want to. But I want you to have a informed birth. I want you to have the information you need to make a decision. I say all the time, these people are at work. You are having a life-changing experience. This is their shift. So they're going to fly by things and things that are necessary and not important. Whereas to you, every little detail about this situation is important, because it's a decision that's being made about your life, your baby's life, and the long-term effects of these situations and things that they're just offering to fix things or to make things better could be a lot worse than what you're experiencing right now.
Whew. Um, no, I made that emotion, that, outburst
Yeah.
because it is just really amazing the things that we don't know
Mhm.
as a
Mhm.
community of color. I'll start with the community of color because, I feel like, when I think about there was a time period when I was younger that there was so many young girls having children, right,
Mhm. Mhm.
without support, right? And it's probably still going on
Mhm.
today, but it just, I can think about, oh, like you had a baby. I mean, you have a whole human that you're now going to be responsible for. And, you think about, to your point, some of the things about someone puts on gloves and they just say, you're like, okay, like, I don't know, let's just go. Like, because you're the professional, right? And I'm trusting, what's happening in this time and space. And
Mhm.
so it's really, I really appreciate, all of the things that you just shared, because when we as women are in these spaces, right? You think about, the hospital setting, right? I make a specific choice myself to see a woman of color to provide me with those services. And it's been that way for quite some time now, almost 20 years. I mean, I've had one, and she was a midwife, and I refused. It didn't matter, you know, if she was booked or she needed me. And she'll, you can come in at 7. I'll be there at 6:59 because I knew that her schedule was so complex. And when she retired, I wound up finding intentional for those who was with my care. And for me, I'm thinking about, how everyone who looks like me isn't for me. I recognize that, right? So I want to be real clear about that. However, there's a level of like somewhat of like, okay, at least they can kind of sort of understand me, kind of sort of, we may not have had the same, growing up experience, but at least they can tell me, you got a little older, if that's the case, like, and
Yeah.
just kind of walk me through that process. Maybe I wasn't wiping properly, or whatever it was, or I
Yeah.
had an experience sexually that I probably shouldn't have did, or so it could be anything, but at least hearing it from
Yeah.
someone that can guide me through the process makes me feel, to your point, safe, somewhat safe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
So I do
then
community
go
doula
ahead.
work as well. I
Right.
do community doula work primarily, which is which I work with local agencies that provide doula services for I guess those in need. You don't necessarily have to meet financial requirements all the time. It literally just has to be in need. A majority of those are very young women who are having babies, like 13, 12 and up. So I feel honored, and I feel a lot of pressure to definitely perform in a way that allows them to have a safe experience. Um, and it's very hard to do when you're dealing with people who have always just been taught to do what they're told. And I that age, they've never made decisions for themselves. They've never had to advocate for themselves or ask further questions or stand up for anything. So what happens is that I'm trying to help you say, hey, talk to your provider about this, ask these questions. And then it's like literally like the mama bird pushing you out and hoping for the best, because I really hope when you get to that appointment that you ask these questions. I really hope that once you get to this birthing situation that you're going to ask your provider these questions and stick fast to the idea of, I am in charge. This is my decision to make. And you're supposed to help me and tell me the things I need to do to make these decisions. I just hope for the best because, like you said, you're young. Like, you're just not even thinking about things that matter, or that these are these things. You just know your friend had a baby and she's fine and the baby's fine. Or, that's it. Or grandma's advising you, but grandma had a baby 40 something years ago. Um, it's not the same birthing experience you're going to have now in a hospital setting. So a big part of what I do is that exact work of coming into communities. I think you're muted. Okay. Coming into communities and doing that work, doing the birth work, dealing with young people who don't understand what asking questions or what they can and cannot do. The biggest part is people don't know, like you said, you don't know what you don't know. So if you really don't know, if you've never made a decision for yourself, and you're about to be somebody's whole parent.
Whole
And that
parent.
requires you to make all the decisions and things of your own. Yeah. So
So in your introduction, you also talked about the postpartum,
mhm.
right? Hey, that can sometimes last up to, a few months that, we I didn't know, right? But I know one of the things that I demanded when I gave birth to my little was that I wanted to breastfeed because
Mm,
I'm like, I got liquid gold up in here and we not gonna be wasting none of it, none of
mm.
this. But when I transitioned out of the hospital, because I wound up having a C-section, just because a whole, varied of issues that I had and you know little person didn't want to come out, but I don't think I would have wanted to push out a 10.2 baby. I'll be honest, I
That's
don't.
the best.
Oh, no thank you, not at this, no. um and so it was a challenge for me um to go through the breastfeeding process. It was horrible. Meaning horrible as like, because I had a C-section. So that's surgery. Let's talk, it's surgery. It's
It's
not
major
just it's
surgery.
not just, yeah, we're gonna cut you and no, it's some things being
Major
moved up in
surgery.
there. It's surgery. That's what it is. So yes, I did have surgery and I checked that box off every time. And I go C-section. That's surgery. But
Mm-hmm.
then the process of it hurt for me to hold her against my stomach because there was a lot. I had all the medication was still in me, and then I'm trying to best breastfeed. So when I say that, having someone as a real support during that phase, because it wasn't pleasant. And a lot of times we like, oh, I have a baby, my stomach is flat after 2 weeks, and then I'm on Instagram and we post it. No, I was struggling. It was a major struggle. So would you describe what your services look like during postpartum?
Okay. Jumping on it right away, lactation.
Mm,
I am a lactation counselor, and that's what I do. I am a CLC. I have been certified in lactation counseling, not only for lactation counseling, but also Black women lactation counseling,
mm,
which is a different thing altogether, because we're just marketed to and service differently. Um, so I definitely do lactation support. I do a prenatal lactation conversation where we talk about all the things and we remove all of these myths out of the way, as far as what it should look like, what it should feel like, what can happen. Now, lactation prenatally, it's very hard to talk about and explain because one is kind of over your head because you still have a very dreamy idea of it. Oh, me and my baby, we're gonna do whatever. As well as the problems come up, I gotta tell you in the moment. It's not. I can't. You know what I mean? It's like someone pre-diagnosing something that may happen. I can't do it until it happens. So most of it happens in the moment. Like, hey, this is happening to me now. Okay, here's what you should do. Here's what we're gonna do, whatever. So I monitor and stay on top of lactation. Definitely postpartum time. I'm texting a lot. I'm asking a lot of questions. People are sending, you can send me pictures all the time. Does this look normal? Is this good? Is this fine? Boom. I focus on that the most because that's going to be something that birthing persons are going to focus on the most. I tell people all the time, having a baby is nothing like that Hallmark Huggies commercial. You do not wake up, push a baby out within seconds, and then are just so happy to see the baby that you're just hugging and kissing and so in love. That's not what happens. That's not it. But what you immediately do feel is responsible. You immediately feel responsible for them. You feel responsible for their care. Are they warm enough? Are they eating enough? That's pretty much like across the board what you care about the most. So I know it's a major issue, as well as it causes a lot of insecurity as it is marketed to do so. There's money to be made in you being unsure and feeling insecure about things. Most products are sold to your insecurity. One insecurity almost all birthing persons have is I don't make enough milk. This is not coming out right. This is wrong. This hurts. It's wrong. This is bad. Whatever. So lactation support, definitely top of the top tier what I provide. Postpartum, I also do meal prep. So I'll provide meals for you. I will make lactation, postpartum recovery rich meals. There is a certain way you should be eating after you birth. Most people are not eating that way. So having a person that is committed to the thought of, most people don't even think about what they're going to eat postpartum. They don't even think about it. They don't even think about where the food's coming from, how is it going to get to the house, who's going to make it, nothing, not even a thought process. So ideally, I bring it to the forefront. Hey, what's the food plan? Do we have a service that's delivering food? I set up meal trains for people so you can contact all the people on your list in your village. Hey, listen, what can you do 2 days of whatever? Can you make a meal for 2 days? Can you make something for 2 days? And I get at least 2 weeks covered. I work on, ideally, most part of postpartum is getting specifically Black women to be okay for asking for and accepting help. Nobody wants to be seen as weak. Nobody wants to be seen that they can't handle something. Everybody wants to feel like as soon as the baby comes through the door, you should be totally okay and being responsible for this being, and that your immediate response is going to be, no, this is your baby. It's your job to take care of it. I don't got nothing to do with this. That's the weight that we take on ourselves from birth. That's not true. So postpartumly, what it looks like is me constantly speaking to birthing persons and saying, listen, those people are around you for a reason. This is the time in which we are calling in. This is our season to call in all the things that we have given out, especially Black women. We are constantly giving. We are constantly thinking about ways to give. It is on our shoulders to provide and to do and to make everything great for everyone else. And never for a second do we think about when is this going to come back. This season of your postpartum recovery after just having a baby is exactly the time in which you need all of that to come back to you. But we feel so uncomfortable. I'm supposed to be able to do it. I'm strong. That's for weak people. No, we're calling in the favors of all the village. And your village does not look like the people. Oh, my sister, my mom, my husband, that's people. No. It could be the neighbor next door that always bring your garbage cans in when they bring their garbage cans in. It could be the person from, elementary school pickup line that, that sit outside and have a coffee with you while y'all waiting for the kids to get out. These are people that are part of your village, and except when they say, hey, is there anything I can do? Is there anything you need? Immediately saying yes and thinking and giving them that thing that you're thinking of immediately, like, oh my God, I would love if you did X, Y, and Z, or saying, yes, there is, please, let me get back to you. I'm going to think about it, really look at it, and really come with what I need. Um, that's something I provide, for you to do, to make a list. I'll sit with you and make a list of the people and what we can ask for and what do they need. I think I plan for your diaper service and things like that. Are we ordering stuff from Target? Like, can we get that on automatic delivery so we don't have to worry about that? I set up your home. When you come back postpartum, people really think they about to be climbing them steps 10 and 9 times. I have clients in walk-ups in Brooklyn, and she's trying to tell me I'm gonna take them steps, these 6 flights, after cesarean. No, ma'am, you're not. And I'm gonna tell you and talk to you. No, you're not doing it. So what else can we do? Um, I think about that as far as how are you going to get up and down the steps? Who's going to go up and down the steps for you? Where are we putting the bed in your home so that you're closest to the restroom, closest to the kitchen? Listen, put it in the middle of the living room. I don't care. Put it right there. Who cares? That's not your job. It's not your job to entertain. It's not your job to your baby to entertain. Your baby's not a sideshow act. Your baby's not Beyonce. Your baby does not need an audience. Like, your baby is not about to do no tricks or nothing. And the baby's not keeping a mental record of who came and who didn't come. Believe me, you, like everyone else, have no idea who stopped by the house and saw your mom when she had that baby. So your baby don't know either. It is not a requirement. I'm very big on that. I'm very big on, if they're coming by, what are they coming by for? And keeping that organized, writing it down, having a plan. So on Thursday, you're coming to get the laundry. Okay, next week, Thursday, you're coming to get the laundry. That's what I do postpartum, and thinking about what does that look like, for you as a birthing person. How are you getting around? Most people think that once I get to 6 weeks, I'm perfectly fine. That is not the case. That is what corporate America and society has decided is enough time. This is usually men who've never had a baby out of any part of their body telling women that should be enough time for you. Postpartum recovery is actually 2 years. It takes 2 years for your body to get back together from having a baby. Now, that doesn't mean you in pain and walking for 2 years. No. But it takes 2 years for your organs to get back to where they were and function fully. It takes 2 years for your hormonal levels to get back together and function fully. If you're breastfeeding during that time, you're not recovering. You're not doing postpartum recovery yet, because your body is doing a lot of other things. So thinking about it past the idea of 6 weeks, I went to the doctor, I'm perfectly fine. We need to definitely, I'm constantly going to be texting you, asking, are you resting? What are you doing? I'm texting dad. I'm texting your mom. I'm texting everyone in the family, calling. Hey, do you need anything? What's coming by? When is the next time we're doing X, Y, and Z? Having someone concerned about you. That's another thing I want to say. Your postpartum doula is concerned about you. Everyone else in your life cares about the baby. Everyone else in your life is going to say, how you doing? You're going to say, fine. And then they're going to go to talking about the baby. Oh, the baby got Uncle Chuck's ears. Oh, how often the baby sleeping? Oh, the baby, oh, that is so cute. Oh, you know what you need to do for this baby? That's it. That's all you're going to hear. That's the end of the conversation about you. Don't nobody else care about nothing. Your postpartum doula cares about you. I'm sure the baby's fine. All right, cool. Now I need to know about you. I need to know all the things that are happening, because one, we're already in a state as Black women where we push everything to the back anyway. We can't complain about nothing going on with us. But then we add on postpartum as well, where we feel we're supposed to be strong and this is not a problem. We really push things back. And then we know that no one cares. They're asking, but they don't really care. So we really not going to say anything. Your postpartum doula wants to know. I tell people all the time, if you got a headache, if your big toe hurt, whatever, please tell me, because it could be a symptom of something else. It could mean something else is wrong. Most things that happen to Black women in pertaining to birth happens not actually during the actual birth. It's postpartum, is majority of it. Very few, little of it is like pregnancy and birth stuff, because we're ignored already, and then we ignore ourselves as well. So your postpartum doula is going to ask you questions about you. How are you feeling? What are you feeling? And please respond honestly. Please say, I'm really struggling with breastfeeding. Not that it's physically struggle, emotionally, it's too much for me. It's draining me. And now we can look into what the options are, because it is what it is. Or say, hey, having the baby all the time, it's a lot for me. It's way more than I thought it would be. Okay, boom. Here's the plan. Here's what we can do with that. But I can't help you if you don't tell me. If you're not going to tell me your big toe hurts, then I can't recommend that you go see your provider about X, Y, and Z. Allow your postpartum doula to really come in and baby you. Your your
Mm.
postpartum doula is there to baby you. Many postpartum doulas, I know everyone saw the video where the woman had the postpartum doula, and oh my gosh, I can't believe she gave somebody to her baby and went to sleep. Imagine a Black woman went to sleep. A Black woman came to help her so she could go to sleep. That's what your postpartum doula is supposed to do. They care about you. Like, yeah, she took care of the baby so you could sleep. Your postpartum doula takes care of the baby so you can shower, so you can sit down and do nothing. So you're not surrounded by dishes and problems and that. Your postpartum doula will come and go to the store for you, will clean for you, wash your laundry, do your laundry for you. It's for you. It's not for the baby. It's not for the house. It's specifically for you. So ideally, what you want is to be able to have a doula that's able to do all three for you. But they are separate as well. Those services are allowed to be separate, where someone just does prenatal, birth, and postpartum. But ideally, your doula will have this wonderful connection. You'll feel like this is your friend. They'll have been in your life since, 3 months pregnant. They done went through that whole emotional roller coaster of a birth, your transition into becoming a mother or parent, because you're not the same person as you were before. And now understanding postpartumly how you feel emotionally, how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling with the idea of this new life that you have. Yeah, that's
Yep,
that's
for
what I
sure.
do.
Would have most definitely needed you in my life because I was.
Hmm.
Mm-mm, yep, all of the above. So let me transition a bit. How could one take advantage to hire you as a doula?
BeYourBirth.com is going to get you directly to me. We'll have a conversation. We'll do a phone consult, primarily just going over what your needs would be, what your expectations of your doula would be, and if I'm able to service that, as well as when. So most doulas have a pretty tight calendar. Um, you may see that a lot of doulas may show their availability. We don't want to take too many births because we want to be able to give you as much time and attention as you will need. So that's a big part of doula. Receiving doula services is knowing exactly when you're going to be due, and what you think you might want or need. Um, After that, we can sign a contract, and then you can go over your birth plan. I'm going to send you a template, and you would have to tell me the type, going over what you think. On the birth plan is a lot of things that most people don't even think about, because, like you said, you don't know. Um, and once you have a birth plan and an idea of the type of birth you want to have, then we are full speed ahead going on with getting that for you, however you want that to look. But ideally, it would be do beYourBirth.com, and with a phone call. I do provide virtual services as well as physical services. It's not so much that it's not as, as weighty. Virtually, I found to be very, very good, because it allows the birthing person to have to sit and commit to this conversation that they're having, which is something that in person might not be. It might be somebody else going on, this going on, that going on. And at this time, with a virtual appointment, you're able to sit and really hear what's being said. And I'm also able to virtually support you in the hospital setting, meaning literally video call me and prop me up against something, and we in here. That works out great, just due to COVID restrictions as far as who can be in the birthing room and who cannot. Many times it is one person. Most people pick their partner, the father of the child that they're having, or their birthing support person. That person is not always the most supportive, helpful person. That's the conversation I have. Be honest about who you have. Really. Like that really is a big part of hiring a doula. Be honest about who you support, who you have with you. If we want to say that it's a male, female relation, be honest about the type of man you have. Like that don't mean they're not helpful and supportive. And if this house fall down and they could build it with 5 nails and half a hammer, that they could build it back up, yes. But at this time, what you need, you know what I'm saying, is someone that is going to rub your back and rub your feet and get you ice at the drop of a dime and be supportive and attentive to your needs and willing to do all the steps, willing to do all the moves, all the comfort labor measures in a non-argumentative way.
That
If
part,
that
that
ain't your
part.
birthday, if that ain't your partner, that ain't them. Listen, that's not it. That don't fault anybody for who they are. This is just not this. There's scenarios and situations for everybody, and this ain't their bag. Your birthing support person, your doula, can step in and just be the bridge of the gap between the two, and then step right back out and allow you guys to have the best postpartum recovery time together as you guys can have. But being honest about who you're with when in choosing a doula, and being honest about what you really feel that you would like your doula to do, is a great way to think about it. And when you're starting to decide on if you would like to have a doula, and yeah, when most of them, I know me, I offer virtual services, both postpartum and prenatally. Postpartum, I also offer lactation support. I teach classes. I teach monthly lactation support classes, as well as I do individual consultations where I can do it virtually, which is ideally the best. Doing a virtual lactation appointment, but I also do them in person as well. Virtually is great because you literally just got to call me and I will say, hey, so tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got you. Because every minute that passed, every hour that passes, another time you've had an uncomfortable lactation situation. That whatever that problem was that you're having, you're going to have it at least 12 to 16 more times, because that's every time the baby eat. Now, how am I gonna schedule you 3 days from now? Like I can't. I have to. I feel immediately responsible. Like I have to help you. If I can help you, I have to help you right now. So I usually do them immediate. It's usually within hours or the next morning that I do lactation consultations, lactation sessions virtually. You can, hey, does this look right? Keep going. You're doing great. I got that. I'm going to help you right away. But I do that postpartum as well.
Now, for those who are watching this, if you do not, or if you know someone, or if you yourself are still in the beginning phases, or you know the after phase of delivery, please consider this as an opportunity as receiving support. There was you said something that really resonated with me, about that you're there to support the mother.
Mm-hmm.
You are there to support the mother.
Yeah.
And to your point, we just go, I'm
I'm
gonna
fine.
I'm okay. I'm good.
I'm
And a
okay.
lot and we're not. So I want to have you come back, because there's a lot more that I think that specifically as, two moms who are entrepreneurs can really unpack a little bit deeper. So I would welcome you and would love to have you come back just for a part two, part three, or a part four of, just, being a part of this discussion, because I think this is really healthy. And I'm telling
Absolutely.
you, I just learned a lot.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you for the work that you are contributing to this world,
Yeah.
because I probably know two doulas, and you are one of the two that I know personally, because it's like, who knew, right, that this was an option?
Yes,
Who knew?
yes, ideally. So I'm just want to say to follow up what you were saying. I feel this is real revolutionary work. I feel
Mm,
that going down to City Hall and changing the law, whatever, changes laws, changes whatever, that doesn't change the people that are in that setting. And every day, every hour, every minute, someone's being born, and someone's in a labor situation, a hospital situation, and they're having real life situations in which
Mm.
they're being racially, discriminated against, or treated from a subpar
Right.
um, accommodations or level of care. I feel this is real revolutionary work because the baby's got to come. The baby's got to be here. The women and children in the community that are the key backbones of the community, they need this help now. They need this support now. And until we can get back to a place of everybody's coming together and these professionals are able to be important members of the community, not just seen as a luxury um,
Mm.
service, but are seen as basic needs for the community. For every birthing person is going to have to constantly be in some, fight the power us in the street type thing, because this is a place in which we're literally dying, and it's on the same level as Black men being killed in the street by the police. Like,
Wow.
we're just being killed in a hospital setting. You know what I'm saying? Where there's legal reasons or technical medical reasons that can be said as to why, as opposed to just racial profiling, or I couldn't be bothered, or it wasn't a priority to me, or I felt she looked fine, or I felt it was fine, or whatever. But we're being killed at the same rates and in the same situation. And that over there is cute. We can be in there marching about gun violence and all of that or whatever, and taking care of that. But someone needs to be over here as well with the same information, of the same way as we want to teach, young people, you don't have to do that. You don't have to take up a gun. You don't have to fight. We can do better. It's the same way in a birthing situation where we need to say, hey, you don't have to just do what that provider said. You don't have to go along with things. You don't have to have this procedure. You don't have to have this intervention. Here's what we can do. Here's a better way. It's the same thing as, to me, as far as how the level of revolutionary work and helping the community. Because you're literally helping build the community. Like, literally. Like, one person went in, two people came out. Like, I gotta
Right.
help build the community. Yeah.
And that's why you need to come back.
Okay.
That's why we need to come back to expand specifically on, that, what you wrapped up with. So check out Miss Juanita at beyondyourbirth.com.
Be
But
your birth.
be your birth.
Be your birth.
It looks like I'm saying beyond your birth. That's what it looks like to me. Beyourbirth.com. Thank you for the
Yes.
correction. So I'm not gonna let you go just yet. I'm going to finish up with these rapid fire one
Okay.
word answers, right?
Okay.
Which is, kind of fun. Ready?
Yep.
What do you do in your downtime? Okay. That
Uh,
means it's a given.
I go thrifting. I go thrift shopping. I absolutely love it. It makes me very happy.
Pizzas or burgers?
Pizza. I don't eat
Smooth,
meat.
yeah. Smoothies or ice cream?
Smoothies, I guess. Be a responsible adult.
In 3 years, what would you what will change within your community?
Ah,
And that doesn't have to be a one word.
what will change in my community? There, honestly, so right now, this is hot. Like, this is trending. Being a doula, becoming a doula, taking doula training. So ideally, what I feel like in 3 years is we will have, the wave is gone and people will understand this is not the same as selling Mary Kay or doing Avon, that this is real emotional work and it takes a lot out of you. So I feel like we'll be back to the true, tried and true, real doulas and birth workers will be able to move in a progressive way, because every time there's a situation and there's a whole bunch of people who just got certified or just started doing something and they want to be, I want to be down, I want to do it, and then it takes away from people who are committed to the work and absolutely doing this for a community standpoint of trying to help their community. It takes away. So when those people start to realize that, hey, this is really like any second now. Like, you got to be able to jump at a drop of a dime, and I can't do that. I have children. I have another job. Usually doing it on the nights and weekends. Like, this is not a nights and weekends job. Knowing that they're on call. That means you can't travel. Your family can't travel. You can't take an invitation more than an hour away from your home. Like, that's real work. Once those people kind of get out of the way, then I feel like we'll be able to get back into real tried and true birth workers that are going to be setting up these conferences and and classes and things like that. And people will be able to trust and see the work that birth workers have done in their community and helping people, and it'll become a norm. Well, hey, my friend had a doula, my cousin had a doula, my sister had a doula, my mom had a doula, I gotta have one. And it'll become a norm where you have to have one. I will love that in 3 years to be the trend where you have to have one, as opposed to you have to become one.
Mm.
Mm.
You say that again. What legacy would you like to leave your family?
Oh, I want my family to have a strong sense of what life really is, not what's been marketed to them, or what you can buy, or what you can obtain or take from someone else, or be the victor because you've oppressed a bunch of other people beneath you. I literally want my family to come from a place and feel like life itself, the in and out of air out of your lungs, the sun rising, the moon, all of that is real life, and that is what needs to be honored. And the same thing in incorporating that in birth work, and seeing that this is natural, this is life work, this isn't a medical procedure, this isn't run to a hospital situation, this is life. This is as natural as breathing in and out, and it just can flow. If we trust the universe, trust what's happening, it's just gonna go. That's what I wanted. That's what I
That's
want.
what you want. With an amazing smile that closes out our conversation here today. I want to thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you. Thank
coming on
you.
this
I
show
appreciate it. I
and
appreciate it.
talking about the great work that is truly revolutionary. I'm listening, I'm like, wow, like that is just not the normal conversations that we're having about birth.
Yeah.
We're talking about, to your point, how cute the kid is, and we ain't talking about nothing else. And still to this day, folks, they look at me and they're like, hey, and then they be like, hey girl. Then I'll be like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like,
You don't matter.
that I know I matter, but I don't, that's fine. They get their kicks out of the kid. She's a
That's
cute
my
kid, so
affirmation. I gotta say it to myself, because believe me, when you somebody parent and somebody something else and somebody something else, and that's the thing, a doula, birth work, you're literally giving. And especially if you're already someone's spouse and someone's mother and caretaker and daughter and all that stuff, you're in a constant state of giving. And being a doula, it you have to give even more. You're expected to give even more. So my biggest affirmation is like, I matter too. Yeah. Yep. I should have night. I should be able to go somewhere and do something and smile, and my feelings and needs matter too. So that's something I definitely have to affirm for myself as well. But you're bigger than someone's mother. You're definitely bigger than somebody's spouse. So
yes. And you're gonna come back. So
absolutely.
thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you.
sharing. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again very, very soon. So
Absolutely.
backstage you go. So when you are in this space of entrepreneurship, there's so many varieties of opportunities that you can absolutely positively create for yourself. And for this, being a doula in the birth work in that world is truly amazing. So salute to Juanita and whomever else is doing this work, because again, I only know two, and Juanita is one of the two. So let's make that the norm. Taking care of ourselves through this process as entrepreneurs. If you happen to be a parent, these services are definitely accessible and available to you all. So, on that note, I want to thank you for checking out the journey of the entrepreneur. Please be sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube, and we are on TikTok under 11375. So, hey, y'all, catch you later soon. Bye bye.